Welcome to the informational webinar on the U.S.-Ireland Research and Development Partnership. My name is Jamie Adams, Senior Advisor to the U.S. Department of Agriculture Chief Scientist, and I have the pleasure of being your host today. Joining me today are Mark Mirando from the U.S. Department of Agriculture and National Institute of Food and Agriculture, John Harrison and Aidan Holohan from the Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine, and Gabrielle Sharkey and Paul Devine from the Department of Agriculture, Environment and Rural Affairs. This partnership is a unique funding mechanism only available to researchers collaborating across these three jurisdictions: the United States, the Republic of Ireland, and Northern Ireland. A brief overview of the webinar schedule. During this webinar, we'll introduce leadership of the respective agencies, briefly cover the history of the partnership, provide an overview of the application process, including specific steps to this program, and we'll introduce the current priorities and end on a Q&A session. Next, I welcome Dr. Shavonda Jacobs-Young, the Acting Chief Scientist of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Bill Callanan, Chief Inspector of the Republic of Ireland Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine, and Alistair Carson, Chief Scientific Advisor of the Northern Ireland Department of Agriculture, Environment and Rural Affairs, to provide opening remarks. Dr. Jacobs-Young, over to you.
USDA is pleased to continue agricultural research and development collaboration under the U.S.-Ireland R&D partnership. Through collaboration and cooperation, we can continue working together to solve some of the global challenges facing agriculture.
Thank you for those remarks. Next, we'll have Chief Inspector Bill Callanan.
From the Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine in Ireland, and on behalf of our research community, it is a privilege to continue our involvement and be part of this unique international agricultural research call under the US-Ireland Research and Development Partnership. This partnership strengthens the link of cooperation and friendship with our neighbours near and far, and this combines with the scientific rigour and excellence of our research teams so that we can deliver innovative solutions that will address some of the greatest challenges now facing the agri-food sector in all three countries.
Thank you so much. And now to Chief Scientific Advisor, Alistair Carson.
On behalf of DARA, I'm pleased to support the continuation of the successful tripartite partnership with our colleagues in the United States and Ireland. Research and innovation are key to help inform government policy and in underpinning competitiveness by providing strong foundations for long-term viability and success. In DARA, we recognise the importance of collaboration to solve the global problems facing agriculture, and we look forward to this programme growing and evolving in the coming years to meet the ever-changing challenges we face together.
Wonderful. I appreciate the time so much by our leadership for giving these opening remarks. Thank you again. Next, we'll go to the history of the partnership. Launched in 2006, the US-Ireland Research and Development Partnership links researchers across the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, and the United States to accelerate economic development and cooperation across borders by encouraging trilateral research collaboration. To date, 65 projects have been funded with over $125 million across various research areas. Funding has been primarily coordinated in the United States through the National Institutes of Health and the National Science Foundation, and now includes the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Partnership research areas include cybersecurity, health, nanoscale science and engineering, sensors and sensor networks, telecommunications, energy and sustainability, and now agriculture. In 2015, USDA, DAFM, and DARA launched a 5-year pilot program for research to help solve global agriculture-related issues. During those 5 years, approximately $7.1 million in funding was awarded to 6 projects across 11 institutions, with partners from USDA, DAFM, and DARA each funding their own researchers. Following a review and successful conclusion of the pilot program, Agriculture intends to continue as a priority area under the partnership. As a brief summary of the awards that occurred under the pilot program, the 6 projects funded during the pilot represent critical research for global agriculture challenges, such as enhancing resistance to bovine tuberculosis, therapy to improve pig health, and new disease diagnosis platform for cattle. These projects are successfully leveraging resources and connections available through this partnership between the United States, the Republic of Ireland, and Northern Ireland. Next, we will review the application process and eligibility, as this program has some unique steps and considerations in addition to the normal process. The application process largely follows the NIFA AFRI process with a few additional steps unique to this program. NIFA's Agriculture, Food, and Research Initiative, AFRI, is the program that is utilized. Applications must be submitted to DAFM and DARA 4 weeks in advance of NIFA AFRI request for applications deadline. This deadline varies depending on which program you are applying to. DAFM and DARA will do an eligibility check mainly to ensure strategic alignment and that financial and administrative requirements are met. If DAFM and DARA support the proposal, a funding commitment letter is provided for inclusion in the full proposal to NIFA. A copy will also be sent directly to NIFA. The U.S. partner submits the tripartite proposal to NIFA by the AFRI due date. Once received, there's an assigned application number. A copy of this number must be sent to DAFM and DARA. The proposals are then evaluated alongside other applications in the selected program area. Eligibility. Eligibility has a few additional requirements beyond the typical AFRI application. In addition to being an eligible research body, which we'll cover in the next slide, there must be a principal investigator or project director from each country. The U.S. partner is responsible for the submission to NIFA. The grant request for each must account for at least 15% of the overall to ensure active participation by each partner. Proposals should avoid duplication of work already undertaken. Eligible research bodies. Eligible research bodies on the U.S. side include agricultural experiment stations, colleges and universities, university research foundations, federal agencies such as the Agricultural Research Service of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and national labs. Private organizations and corporations are also eligible and have received funding during the pilot program. Also illustrated on this slide are the eligible institutions from Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. Northern Ireland has 3 potential partners: the Queen's University Belfast, Ulster University, and the Agri-Food and Biosciences Institute. Republic of Ireland has several eligible universities, institutes, and research organizations, including those noted on this slide. Why you should apply. Although partnership proposals compete head-to-head with the non-US Ireland partnership, proposals submitted to the same request for application, the competitive advantage comes from the additive nature of the collaboration, as well as leveraging additional funding sources. USDA funding is up to $500,000 to $1 million, depending on the AFRI program. DAFM offers up to €350,000, and DARA up to £250,000. You could, of course, work with international collaborators on a typical grant. However, this program offers dedicated funding for your international partners. Next, we'll go over some additional information for the 2022 request for applications. As under the agricultural pilot, there were 6 program areas for 2021 that are now being continued in 2022. These include pests and beneficial species, animal nutrition, growth and lactation, welfare and well-being of agricultural animals, diseases of agricultural animals, animal breeding and functional annotation of genomes, and mitigating antimicrobial resistance across the food chain. On the slide, you can now see also the deadlines that are upcoming next year for 2022 AFRI application deadlines for these program priority areas. Also for 2022, we are pleased to announce that we'll be doubling the number of priority areas, program areas that are eligible for application. And we'll have deadlines in late summer and early fall next year. These 6 new priority areas include sustainable bioeconomy through bio-based products, sustainable agroecosystems, bioprocessing and bioengineering, agricultural microbiomes in plant systems and natural resources, interdisciplinary engagement in animal systems, and data science for food and agriculture systems. We're excited for the opportunities that lie ahead, especially given this increase in the program priority areas that are now eligible, all now listed on this slide. Applications for 2022 are now being accepted. Later this year, the request for application will be updated to reflect the new priority areas.